Tommy,
How's it going, man?
welcome to this special Saturday matinee episode
Yeah, man.
of
Episode
our Deep Six
54.
podcast. 54.
That's crazy. Gonna be a good weekend, man. Couple good weekends, actually. We got a NXT Takeover tomorrow. We got Elimination Chamber next Sunday. Should be really good, man. I'm excited.
Coming off the heels of Super Bowl weekend, the Royal Rumble. But first, before we go any further, let's get the show started, why don't we?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivers this deep six.
Good afternoon, Deep Six Pro Wrestling Podcast fans. We are live, and this is NXT Takeover Vengeance weekend.
Yeah, man. I like the title of that pay-per-view. I like they're bringing back the Vengeance name.
Vengeance Day.
Yeah, Vengeance Day.
Got the day part.
Yeah, make sure that it's not on. You gotta make Valentine's Day a little special.
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing really good. Been waiting for the snow to come on Monday, but no, man, been doing good.
So how did you feel about the Super Bowl this past weekend?
I mean, it was good because, as a fan who's seen their team make it and win the Super Bowl, I think that that's something that everybody should, hope to experience because it's just cool to see your team win, and I'm a Broncos fan, and so getting to see my little brother really excited and just enjoying the way that the Buccaneers won that game was awesome. But man, what a letdown of a game that was. I mean, that game just had the makings of an all-time classic Super Bowl, and it was boring. I mean, it was bad. I mean, the Buccaneers made Patrick Mahomes look like a joke. Which is crazy. I mean, that is tough to do. They literally shut him down in every facet. Still impressive some of the throws that he made, but I mean, tops off to Brady. I don't know if you could say that there's ever been a better quarterback than him. I mean, 7 Super Bowl wins. It was incredible performance by him. I honestly expect the Buccaneers to be, if Brady could continue to play like he did this past year, they could be a contender for a few years.
Tom Brady made Mahomes. How do I put this? Basically, Tom Brady was Pat Mahomes' daddy on Sunday. That's for sure.
He really was.
But now, here's a couple of things. Kansas City was lacking on their offensive line big time. From what I heard, there were about 3 people. A couple people were out, and then you had to put people that position that normally don't play offensive line, and there was just no protection from Mahomes whatsoever.
Yeah.
Bad calls. The game was very one-sided. And listen, going into this game, apparently Tampa Bay had it more put together. They were ready defensively. We knew it was going to be pretty. But it was a very one-sided game. But we knew it was going to Tampa Bay was going to play good defense, and Tampa Bay pretty much played some flawless offense. Brady didn't turn the ball over. He didn't throw any picks like he did against Green Bay. Had that happened, then maybe we would have seen a little bit of a tighter game. But, Casey had nothing but field goals. Very one-sided. It was a tough, rough game to watch.
They just couldn't get off the field on defense. And, I mean, I think that's the biggest credit. A lot of people are going to talk about Brady, 7 Super Bowls, getting another MVP. But, man, that defense for the Buccaneers was just absolutely suffocating. I mean, Shaq Barrett has been one of the best signings of the last few years, getting him from Denver. Their secondary played amazing. Now, it was really good. And like I said, if Brady can stay healthy and still wants to go at it and play at the level that he did this year, I mean, watch out. This team is going to be really good. It's always hard to repeat in the NFL. We haven't seen it since 03, 04, but I think the Buccaneers have a really, really good chance of making it back to the Super Bowl next year.
Hey, I noticed you got a haircut.
I did, man. Yeah, it's been a while.
Very, very trimmed.
Yeah, shave the beard.
Looking prim and proper today.
I appreciate it. I try. Glad somebody noticed.
So we're gonna start talking NXT because that's the focus of the weekend. NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. That's the focus of the weekend. We're gonna come in hot right away. But first, we're gonna build the groundwork really quick just to kind of update you guys where we're at. And then we'll talk really quickly about NXT. We'll run through from this past Wednesday night. We'll run through the results really quick. Yeah, we have MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. MSK getting the win there, setting up the match to be in the finals. MSK gets the win. Great match between these teams.
Yeah.
They get the the winner of the other match we'll talk about. So MSK will be in a prominent spot right away this Sunday.
And
the
they
finals.
deserve it. Yeah, they deserve it. I mean, this match to open the show, nonetheless, was absolutely incredible. I thought it was really good. I think it was only a little bit under 15 minutes, but I mean, NXT has been hitting it hard recently, getting some really solid, matches out of their stars. I think what we talked about on last week's show is just almost how revitalizing a tournament can be for your whole roster. I think it brings out the best in everybody, and NXT has done tournaments, so well. I think this is their 6th Dusty tournament, and now we have the women's one as well. This was another example of that. This tournament has been really, really good. MSK comes in, coming out of being in Impact Wrestling. Now they come here, get an immediate push. They're in the finals. I'm really excited to see what they do tomorrow.
And then we got Grizzled Young Veterans defeated Ciampa and Thatcher. That was a great tag match. I wasn't really too sure where they're gonna go with the winner of this one, but Grizzled Young Veterans will face MSK in the finals of the Dusty Cup.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week. I think that this was kind of a surprise move. I honestly expected, with MSK being so new to the NXT brand, put them in a match against the veterans in Ciampa and Thatcher in the finals. Not only is that a great match to begin with, but it's a fresh matchup. But no, they went with the Grizzled Young Veterans, and again, a good match. Not as good as the opener, I will say that, but I think that these two teams are going to get, we talk a lot about that takeover rub. You have a great match at Takeover, it can really start your career. We've seen it with a lot of guys. I think this is going to be one of those. I think this is going to be a really solid match between two teams that don't get a lot of press or are new to the NXT brand. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this one.
We also have Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. We had them two go against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, that was a good one. I think it started out a little bit slow, and that's okay. This is the first time we've seen a women's, Dusty Classic, and I think it's great. I'm glad that they did that. I think it not only brings in more talent, you get to build up more stars in, the wrestling world across all companies needs a better women's division. And it's going to be good to see Ember and Shotzi, play off each other in this match. I think Ember has definitely been, I don't know, she's not been as expected as when she was, like when she made her return. I want to say it was TakeOver 30. I could be wrong on that, but when she made her return, it's big pop and everybody was really excited. I just feel like maybe it's not her fault, but I feel like she's been lacking something. Not the same character that we saw her when she was originally in NXT. So I think putting her with Shotzi, is a really good combination, and I think that this match, again, you'll hear me say this a lot as we're talking about TakeOver, but this match has the potential to be really good. I think this card for Vengeance Day is absolutely stacked.
Yeah, so Indy Hartwell and Candice losing to Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. That sets up Ember and Shotzi versus Dakota Kai and Gonzalez, which we'll talk about in a short bit. But yeah, so the NXT Vengeance Day card is shaping up to be um, quite possibly one of the best
All
NXT
time.
takeovers in
Yeah.
quite some time. So definitely looking forward to that. So let's talk about it. Let's just jump right in. So yeah, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember and Shotzi for the Women's Dusty Cup. Winner is also going to be the number one contender to the WWE Women's Tag Titles. So who do you got here?
Well, first, I think that's great that they're getting there's not really a title they can go after except for the women's tag team titles. I think that is a great move. I think you're going to get, some really good, some matches out of whoever wins. But I really love the dynamic between Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. It reminds me a lot of, Shawn Michaels and Diesel when they were a tag team back in the 90s. Just a big muscular guy and then the kind of person who can just talk her talk but get out of the way, and let the muscle deal with it. I love Dakota Kai. I think she's a fantastic heel. And I just don't see them not walking away with this. I think they've been on a run recently, for the past couple months, and I think WWE and NXT should let them continue that. They could be a really good reset, I think, going into WrestleMania, or if it's at WrestleMania, for the women's tag team titles. I think they would bring a lot of potential to that, side of the brand and the women's side. So yeah, I expect them to walk out here with the win.
Yeah, I think I got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez winning this and becoming number one contender. Who might be the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions at the time? Who knows?
I don't think you can, because WWE almost plays hot potato with that, like they did the 24/7 title. But it would be a really good. WrestleMania is going to be 2 nights this year. I expect them to have
I expect that match to be on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah, I expect them to have a takeover of WrestleMania weekend. Well, honestly, maybe not, unless if it's on that Friday.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing it. I think what they're gonna do is I think NXT matches are gonna be on WrestleMania.
And that's
how do you
great.
fill 2 nights? There's no other way to do that.
And that's great. I think that's a really good thing for the people who not only will earn that WrestleMania payday, but also just to get the exposure, because a lot of people are going to be watching WrestleMania. So, that should be a really good match. I think that's something that you can put on either night in the middle of the card and expect a solid 10 to 15 minute match. And yeah, I really like Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And so I really expect them to come out here strong, get the win, and set up their course for WrestleMania.
In the other Dusty Cup finals for the men, we have MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans. This is just for the cup, for the bragging rights.
No, I think they get a tag team title as well. NXT tag
really?
title.
I didn't hear about that. Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they get a NXT
I think I gotta go Grizzled Young Veterans. I think WWE is very much high on them.
Yeah, it is. They receive a future NXT Tag Team Championship match. But yeah, I agree with you as well. I really like Grizzled Young Veterans. They made their mark, in NXT UK. I think they were the first UK Tag Team Champions, if I'm correct on that.
I think you're correct.
And I think that they continue that. MSK has done really good in this tournament. They made their debut, like I said, from Impact Wrestling. They've come in, made a really strong start to their NXT careers, but I don't think they're the move at this time. I think they'll be back at some point, but I think Grizzled Young Veterans is the move, and I expect them to get a win.
How come we never disagree on stuff?
Just like minds, man.
Our predictions are very much the same all the time.
They really are.
I'm waiting for it.
Sometimes we'll throw a little curveball out there, but I think it's just two great minds thinking alike.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you instantly want to make a tag team, MXK is the way to go. But Grizzled Young Veterans, I just feel like Triple H is really behind them. I love Gibson's
Yeah.
persona, the way he works, and Drake is a great compliment to him. Out of the two, I like Gibson better. I feel like he has a little bit more of the it factor than Drake does, but together they make a great tag team, complimenting each other. Been around the business for in WWE for a while. Great run in NXT UK, and Grizzled Young Veterans could be major players in the future as far as like other brands go,
Yeah,
Raw,
yeah.
SmackDown, or wherever they go after that. But yeah, I got Grizzled Young Veterans winning too. North American title, Johnny Gargano is going to defend his title against Kushida.
I'll let you go first. Let's see if our predictions are different this time.
I mean, they could go the Kushida route. They could give it to him for a little while. I just feel like they're gonna go Johnny Gargano here for the win. This is just like an in between feud to get to where they want to go, wherever that may be. I'm not entirely sure right now. Um, I could see Gargano winning this and maybe starting a feud with Bronson Reed a little later on. I'm not too sure, but I just don't. I'm not. I like Kushida. I just don't really connect with him well, and I know he's a great worker. But I really think that Gargano somehow gets away with this win with the help of outside interference.
Yeah, actually, I am going to disagree with you on this one. I think Gargano has been working with Austin Theory recently, and I think if our thoughts are correct on the fact that all the NXT matches are going to take place on the WrestleMania card, you need to fill out, a gimmick match, whether that's a ladder match or a rumble or whatever. I think that this is something that we could see, turn into a ladder match on one of the nights. Just guys just going out there. I really don't think I've ever seen a bad NXT ladder match. I think that they all have been, absolutely incredible. I think Kushida gets the win here. I think Theory is going to turn on Gargano. I think the time is right to make a title change here, and that sets up, some sort of gimmick match, down the line where you can put multiple people in the WrestleMania card. So yeah, I expect Kushida to get it here. I know what you mean in the fact that I don't really connect with his character. I think his work is absolutely incredible though in the ring. And he is called, Johnny Takeover, but I think Johnny Takeover takes the loss here, and we see a new champion crown. The first of two in my predictions.
I'm not too sure if I see Theory or Gargano, one of them turning on each other. I'm not too sure if I see it.
I mean,
I feel like it could happen, but I feel like it would be a little soon.
yeah, and I get that, but I think that the time is finally right to. I mean, Gargano's got to come up to the main roster at some point.
I don't think he wants to, though.
I don't think he wants to, but again, that's
Papa doesn't want to.
As sad as it is going to be for me to say, it's not really his decision. I mean, if Vince McMahon wants him up there, Vince McMahon wants him up there, and I think we might see him come up after Mania, the Raw after WrestleMania, and I think this is a good way of setting him up for that. Give him one last match at WrestleMania, under the NXT brand, and then, whether they bring up him and Ciampa as a tag team or he's a singles guy going after United States title or something, I think this is the time we see it. So, and that's the reason why I say that they kind of start that quick turn here with Theory, or Theory cost him the match in some way, maybe not turns on him, but I think that tandem is going to run its course by the time we get to WrestleMania season.
If Gargano does go, let's just say he goes to the main roster, in your opinion, where do you put him?
Like what show, or
Yeah.
SmackDown? I mean, I'd love to see him. I mean, we can all say it, SmackDown is the better show, but Raw is still the, maybe not for much longer, but Raw is still the A show. It's still the show that everybody, thinks of when they think of WWE.
Certainly hasn't been an A show. That's
Not yeah, exactly. And I think that again that might change here soon, given the fact that SmackDown is on Fox, which is a national,
Raw needs
TV
a big shot in the
station.
arm.
Yeah.
They need a shot in the arm. If that means
CM Punk.
recasting a whole roster, they got to do it. They need fresh faces. They need better writers. Plain
They,
and simple.
I
Give me Paul Heyman writing on Raw
yeah,
again.
I don't get why it's not like they have a bad roster. It's not like they don't have people who can put on good matches. It's just like it's the little things. I think even though some of
Seeing the same old stuff from 2010.
yeah, we're seeing that. We're seeing the same matches each and every week. I mean, we talked about it over the summer. How many times we saw the Street Profits versus the New Day or the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders just every single week. Both shows. And it just didn't make any sense to me. But in the little things, I think it's the fact that, like, there's never really any stakes. And the little shows, like that they would do the special shows, like Raw Roulette, or something like that. I just always enjoyed those. I think they were fun and just they were a break from everything, just a standard one-on-one wrestling. You have just a bunch of gimmick matches. And they haven't done that in years. I honestly don't even remember the last time there was a Raw Roulette. But they keep trying to do the same stuff. Every year you expect a Legends Night or something, I don't want to say that Vince McMahon is out of touch because he's obviously is gotten to this place for a reason, and he's a billionaire for a reason. But it's time to start doing something different. After WrestleMania, I mean, they're in a prime position to really make a jump into this next year. And if it doesn't start after WrestleMania, I don't know when it will start. Because it's been years since Raw has been a good show.
So
Consistently. But yes, I would...
It's been bad.
Your first question, I would put him on SmackDown for the great wrestling. And he'd actually have a good story, probably.
So I was just looking at somebody made a remark to me about I forgot where I heard it from, how this Elimination Chamber is similar to 2010 Elimination Chamber. Well, to run that by really quick, we saw Sheamus in that chamber match. We saw Randy Orton in that chamber match. And then in the second chamber match there was let me see, Miz was in there, and Drew McIntyre was actually on the card, who defeated Kane for Intercontinental title. So a lot of similarities to that, and this is 11 years now, and a lot of crap it hasn't changed.
And that's the thing is, and we'll get back to the NXT talk in a second, but with Chamber coming up next week, I think.
How do we get back into Elimination Chamber?
Who knows? But no, I agree with you, and it's not that some of them don't deserve to be there. McIntyre's obviously revamped his career. He deserves to be on the card. Randy Orton has been doing some of the best work of his career. He deserves to be in that chamber. Sheamus, I think you can make a case for. He's fine. I don't expect him to win or whatever, but whatever. But dude, there's no reason, and he's great in the ring. I like his character, and I'm fine with him. But there is no reason that the Miz in 2021 should be fighting in the World Heavyweight WWE whatever championship conversation. I mean, he should be in the mid card, going after the United States title, which is. Or the Intercontinental title, which is some of his best work. If I think some of his time as the Intercontinental Champion has been fantastic. But it's 2021. We already seen The Miz have a awful WWE Championship run 10, 11 years ago. And here we are. And he's holding the Money in the Bank briefcase still. And he's in the Elimination Chamber match. He's not going to win. But there's always the chance. You never know with WWE. It's WWE. I don't know. I don't know what you can do, what can change. But God, there's got to be something. I mean, there's got to be something to change Raw. I don't have a problem with these old guys, who are still going with their careers. That's fine. But where's Aleister Black? Where's Ricochet? Where is, all these people who were fantastic in NXT and are good people to watch, and they're just being relegated to either not being on show or getting beat by in 3 minutes by Bobby Lashley. I just don't understand it.
So you getting back to Gargano. I mean, I think my opinion is you got to get him on Raw. You got to move. You got to change some faces around. You got to change the faces. Move them off the program. Please get Miz and Morrison off my TV. Again, 11 years ago, same act, and we're seeing it again. It's just not connected with me. You got to fill up the Raw brand with new faces, or you got to do something better. Writing, 2 meaningful matches. But I would just hate to see Johnny Gargano go up to the main roster and then be wasted for sure.
Yeah, it's just sad that we're even talking about the fact that he could possibly and most likely would be wasted. I mean, it's just the number of NXT stars who have gone to the main roster and have been, excuse my language, just absolute dog shit.
Yeah,
is embarrassing. It's so bad how good their roster is and how underused the most of them are.
Absolutely. Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Championship will be on the line. We have Io Shirai defending against Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez in a triple threat. For the amount of times you can't bet against Io. It's tough. I'm not too sure when the right time is to take the title off of her. I would suspect it might be a little soon, but she has had it for a while. When did she win that title? Summertime?
Oh boy.
Was it?
Let me check. I believe so, but let's see. She has been the champion since. It's been a while. I mean, I know that. Let's see, 2020. She won. She won it at NXT Takeover in Your House on June 7th.
Okay, so this is going on about 7 months.
Almost
now.
a year. Yeah.
Yeah, 7-8 months. You know, I mean, this is a tough call for me. I feel like if Io loses the title, it's going to go to Toni Storm. If she loses it here. Maybe this could be a setup match for WrestleMania weekend for another title defense with against Mercedes or Toni Storm again. I'm not too sure. This is a tough one for me to call, but man. You can't bet against Io. It's hard. It's really hard, but
yeah,
I'd have to say if that title comes off her, it's going to Toni Storm.
Damn, you really do just pick. I think actually this is the time. Well, I don't want to hedge my bet on that. I think this is something that I have like the least confidence in, but I do think that there will be 2 title changes on this show in some capacity. And I think this could be one of them. I think Toni Storm has done some really great work. I enjoyed seeing her in the Rumble. She looked really good. I enjoyed watching her. But yeah, I think it's tough to bet against Io because it always seems like she pulls out the craziest of wins, when she's back against the wall. But yeah, I like Toni Storm in this match. I think she's going to get the victory here, become the new NXT Women's Champion, and just carry the company into WrestleMania. I think you could still do a match, like a rematch at WrestleMania, and I think that, again, we're trying to build this card with solid matches that don't bring down, the show in some way. You want to have a really solid match after each one of them, and I think this could be one of those matches you stick on either night, give them 15 to 20 minutes, and it's really, really just great wrestling. So yeah, I think Toni Storm gets the win here, and I think we see a rematch at WrestleMania.
NXT Championship is on the line. Finn Balor against Pete Dunne. This is another hard one.
Another one, man.
WWE loves Pete Dunne. They love themselves Pete Dunne for sure. Great worker. This is another one. I have a feeling Finn retains here for now. I think he keeps the belt for a little while.
I'm gonna go a little off the wall here, and you've heard it here first. We're gonna copyright that, trademark it. I think, and this is a little out there. Like I said, I think there's going to be two title changes. I expect the North American title to switch hands, and if it's not the women's, I expect it to be this one. I think Dunn is going to get the win thanks to the help of a returning Pat McAfee. And because you need those gimmick matches at WrestleMania, we're going to see Pat McAfee against Finn Balor. And just a random match that goes out there and is just like the Adam Cole match, is just a fun little sprint. So yeah, I expect Dunn to get the win here and have, with the help from a returning Pat McAfee, to set up a WrestleMania match.
Okay, so then what do you do with the NXT Championship at WrestleMania then?
I think there's not so many options, but I just think that there's a lot of people on the card that you can build up. You know, Karrion Kross. Let me see Karrion Kross versus Pete Dunne. I know he kind of he's teased a while coming back for his title, you know, since he was injured. We kind of saw the teaser between him and Edge, but Edge isn't going after the NXT title. I think Karrion Kross versus Pete Dunne would be a really enjoyable match. It's fresh, too. It'd be really fresh. So I think that's the way you could do it. I really would. I would not be opposed to seeing both of those matches on the WrestleMania card. Again, I think you have to fill out WrestleMania with some sort of out there brand person. And I know that they've been talking about...
We're going to get Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Bad Bunny. That's one night. You have one night of Bad Bunny. Bring in that kind of audience. Then you can have Pat McAfee. I mean, everybody... I think people are still waiting for Pat McAfee, if he does continue to wrestle, and I expect him to have a bad match. You know, to kind of, you know, show that one match with Adam Cole was a fluke. I think he did fantastic in the War Games match. And I think if he got a match with Finn Balor, it's another great worker that he's in the ring with. He's going to sell like crazy. And I think it would just be a fun little sprint. I know it's a little out there, but I think that I would enjoy that a lot. And I know McAfee's been talking about getting back in the ring.
It is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. I have a feeling they may do Finn versus Karrion Kross.
Yeah, that'd be a great one too.
For the title. I think that very well could be. Where the heck is Adam Cole? What? I mean, listen, we saw him, you know, in the tournament, but where the heck is Adam Cole on this card? Why isn't he on the card?
I don't know. I honestly do not know. I feel like outside of Gargano, if there's one person that you put on every single TakeOver card, every pay-per-view, every show, I mean, really, it's Adam Cole. He is so damn good, so charismatic. I wish I could think of an answer to tell you why
Kyle
he's
O'Reilly,
on the card. Yeah, I love... Oh, my gosh.
Card. Roderick Strong. None of UE is on the card.
Where is my UE Fatal 4-Way? I need it to happen. I need that match to, like, happen just once.
Do you think the UE is going to come up?
I mean, they have to at some point.
Together? The only reason why I would say maybe not, just because I feel like Kyle O'Reilly still hasn't hit his single stride.
Yeah.
He's finally made it. You know, I feel like it would be too soon to take him away from the main event picture.
Yeah, if there was one person who I expect to stay in the NXT, it would be Strong, and I think that's okay because I enjoy Roderick Strong. I think he's a good veteran to have on that roster. But I also agree with you in the fact that I think if you're going to do a Kyle O'Reilly singles run, you need to keep him on NXT. But I'm also worried that if they did bring up the UE, Cole would be a single star, and they would just kind of relegate Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly to tag team purgatory. You know, I mean, they wouldn't do anything. So I hope, you know,
UE could very well be a factor in this.
Yeah.
On this card.
They have to. I almost feel like it's a robbery to fans if you don't see some Undisputed Era.
It's very, very possible we could come to the save for somebody.
Maybe Finn? I mean, if McAfee gets involved, I think that
You got to
is
figure that McAfee and Oni Lorcan and Birch
Danny Burch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
are going to interfere. I would think you're probably going to see UE. Because remember, if I'm not mistaken, Finn Balor stood tall with UE about 2 weeks ago on NXT.
And I think that
So
is,
UE could be involved to prevent uh, McAfee's boys from interfering.
and I think that's the way that you could put in that Karrion Cross type thing. I think he could, if you really want to make him look like a star, which I think he is. I think he's going to be fantastic.
I would think you save Karrion Cross for the end of the night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The end of the night when the show's about to go off the air like they usually do, and then
Yeah.
there's a quick surprise.
Yeah, I think, the Undisputed Era and Balor stand tall or whatever, and in some way, Karrion Cross comes down and just beats the shit.
Everybody's knocked out at this point.
Yeah, just absolutely.
Nobody can come to the save.
Yeah, just I think to make him look like a monster heel, and I mean he's not really a monster, but that big guy that's going to be a formidable challenge. I think you just have Karrion Cross come in and beat the hell out of everybody, and I think that that's a really good way. Whoever is the champion, that he would challenge. I think that's a good way to start the setup for a WrestleMania match.
Oh, when is it Karrion Cross versus what's his name from Legado del Fantasma?
I know who you're talking. I don't know. I don't know when that is supposed to be. Let's find out. I will look while you.
I want to say it was next Wednesday.
That sounds.
We'll talk about that on NXT for sure.
Yes, let's see. Santos Escobar.
That's the name I'm looking for. Good brain fire. So we know we're getting Karrion Cross versus Santos Escobar
Next week, you are correct.
Okay, so that is next week. So that'll be.
But wait, it's a non-title match.
Non-title match. Good, you have to do that.
Yeah,
you can't do a title match there.
I think that's the way that you keep Cross some way in the main event picture.
Yeah.
If he takes the loss and somebody interferes on behalf of Santos, I think that's a good way to not put the title on him and not hinge him to the fact of being that champion.
Santos will take that loss for sure.
Yeah.
That's absolutely happening. Well, that pretty much covers NXT TakeOver predictions. And I'm very excited about this card, though. It's very stacked.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a great show.
We'll talk about a couple key things that happened this week across all Raw, SmackDown, and AEW. Not really a whole lot going on. I mean, there's been a bunch of hints as to where they can go as far as the road to WrestleMania. But we'll start out here. Shane McMahon comes out on Monday Night Raw. So let me tell you, this week I watched the 3-hour show of Monday Night Raw in 50 minutes.
So it's almost a new record every time.
It was a lot of filler. I was like, next.
As most shows are.
This was bad. But it starts off hot. It started off interesting. But they can't hold my attention past 8:30.
He really can. I almost feel like even last week when Edge came back after the Rumble, I would just watch his promo and skip through everything else mostly. I mean, you have your opening promo or opening segment or whatever, and then there might be one or two good matches, and that's it. I mean, next week should be good with the gauntlet match, but
Shane McMahon comes out and had Adam Pearce announce that Drew McIntyre will defend his WWE Championship against Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, Miz, and Sheamus. I'm not very excited about the field of wrestlers here, to be honest with you.
There's no one fresh. I mean, there really is nobody fresh. I mean, the freshest name really in there is Jeff Hardy, and I expect him to probably be the first person eliminated. I know, that's bad, but he's going to do a special move off one of the pods or whatever. Who knows what the chamber is going to look like anymore. I mean, they change it every year, it seems. But He's going to be first eliminated, and it's just it should be a good match. I mean, most chambers are pretty enjoyable to watch, but there's no stars. I mean, obviously Drew's going to win. He's going to retain his title, go into WrestleMania. I don't know. I'm not.
Could.
I mean, he could lose, but do you really want to hedge your bet on the fact that he'd lose?
I can't bet on anything right now WWE is doing because I don't even think WWE truly knows where they want to go.
They don't know.
But I would say if Drew loses this title in this match at Elimination Chamber, I would say it would probably be to Randy Orton.
Gosh, they're still feuding, man.
And then you have Edge make his decision that he wants to face Orton. Because it was rumored a year ago that it would be Edge versus Orton at Mania, and then we heard a bunch of flip flop for the past year. If that match happens and WWE still wants to do that, this is the way you do it. Take the belt off of Drew there. Randy Orton wins. You have Drew feud off with Sheamus going into WrestleMania because there's a story to be told there. You could do that. This is a very, very tough road to WrestleMania 37 to call, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Drew is still kind of owed is the wrong word. Maybe not really. I don't know. I think he deserves that spot of being in front of the fans as the champion. So I can't see them with the fact that we know that WrestleMania is going to have some number of fans. Whether he wins or doesn't at WrestleMania, nobody knows. But I think he deserves the opportunity to walk into WrestleMania as a champion and get that live crowd reaction because in the worst of times, and some times of his run have been great, some have not been great, he's carried this company in a really tough situation as the champion. I think he's done a great job. So I think that, of course, I just don't see anybody, in my opinion, winning in the chamber, but I just think WWE deserves to give him, or McIntyre deserves to have the chance to walk into Mania with fans and get that live crowd for the work that he's done for the company over the past year.
My other option is if Drew does retain, that Randy will we can't forget the Fiend is still lurking out there. The Fiend and Alexa Bliss are lurking around.
He's gonna pop up under the ring.
More than likely, Drew does win, and then Fiend and Randy Orton are gonna have a match at Mania. What kind of match? I couldn't tell you. Probably cinematic. Who knows?
House of Horrors match, part 2.
Yeah. Oh God, I was at the first one.
Really?
Well, not the first one, but the WrestleMania 34 match that they had in was it 34? No, 33. No. 33
in Orlando. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at that one.
Honestly, I do think it would be a really good shot, like a camera shot, if Randy's about to open his pod door or something, and his door won't open, the lights go out or whatever, and in the pod with him is the Fiend. I think that'd be a cool little action shot. That's just
that could happen.
Me being
that very well could happen. I think out of this, we're gonna probably get Drew versus Sheamus and or Keith Lee at WrestleMania. So that remains to be seen. But Drew and Sheamus in the match is coming. It's absolutely coming. Now, Elimination Chamber is already eliminated. No pun intended. What I mean by that is the card is already set. So let's scrap that. Now you got Fastlane. There's one more pay-per-view before Mania, so we could see Drew against Sheamus, Fastlane, or Mania. It's closing in. It's closing in.
I think that's where we see it, and then I think we see a triple threat at Mania with Sheamus and Keith Lee. I think that's another good solid match.
It would make sense. It would make sense to have Drew, Sheamus, and Keith Lee in there. Have Keith Lee go over.
Keith Lee, yeah, exactly.
Win the title with the win over Sheamus.
Yeah, we agree on that. But I think that could be another really solid WrestleMania match.
So there's really no clear indication as to who Edge is going to choose yet. It seems to me after Elimination Chamber next Sunday, seems I think we'll have an idea, and then Edge is going to decide who he's going to choose.
Yeah.
To see, I really don't know on the SmackDown side. I don't even know where they're going to go with Roman Reigns yet. Could be Daniel Bryan. I've heard Kevin Owens.
They don't know
But
either.
the on the SmackDown side,
Oh, before we get on to SmackDown, I mean,
Yeah.
we have to talk about Raw's infamous gifable moment.
I would probably yell and scream and do the Nia Jax impersonation right now. But since there's somebody in the next room over, I will refrain. But Nia Jax screaming my butt, my hole on live TV.
My hole!
Who wrote this? Whose idea was this? Was it Nia Jax? Was she really in pain, and this is what all she can
That was
come up
just
with? Like,
immediate thought. Vince Russo wrote it. He sent it in. That was so
stupid.
I mean,
So
me and you were
stupid.
talking about it the next day. It's just like, why?
It was
like,
funny though.
It was hilarious. I mean,
And Lana gets the win.
yeah, right after that, she
Because
throws her
Nia
to the
Jax
table.
hurt her hole.
I get we talked about it. I don't know if I know that's the hardest part of the ring, and if it was written, that's different. But if that is her instant reaction to being hit on that side of the ring, oh, what a great wrestling moment. That's going to be the best moment of the year. We'll be talking about that for the rest of the year.
Oh man, yeah, it's been tweeted about. It's been on meme. SmackDown. They also rolled the footage, probably as a rib.
I hope so.
But on SmackDown, we saw the field fill up the Elimination Chamber. We saw Daniel Bryan and Cesaro win their tag match to qualify. We saw Corbin and Sami Zayn win their match to qualify. And then we're going to have KO and Jey Uso was established right away. Those are the first two guys that would be qualified into the Elimination Chamber main event for Rome. Now what they're doing is the winner of Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, KO, Sami Zayn, Corbin, and Uso is going to be facing Roman Reigns for the title that same night.
Why is SmackDown just so much better? I mean, that's such a great decision. I think I love that decision. I love the fact that he's going to be on the card and there's some stakes involved.
SmackDown had a pretty good ending. It was like
They
KO
did.
was Stone Cold Steve Austin last
Back
night.
in '98, yeah. No, I like this. I think that this is a way that you can give. God, please do not let it be Corbin. But I think Cesaro, my pick. You know, we'll talk about it next week, of course.
I think it's gonna be Cesaro.
Cesaro, I think he's been having a run of his life this year, and going back into last year too. And I think that that's a good way to give him that title match. Give him a match against Reigns at the end of the night. Let him put on those two. Oh my gosh, those two would put on a hell of a match. But yeah, I think that this is a great way to build up a star, maybe not star, but you know, give another person a match that you wouldn't see normally.
You want to
like
build a
this
star,
idea.
you take that title off from Roman Reigns right away.
Yeah, I mean that would be a shock. I mean, talk about a shock ending if
In the
somebody.
middle of WrestleMania season.
Oh man, I mean that would be good. Obviously I don't think they do it, but I mean that would be a hell of a shock, and that'd be a really good way to get people to tune in.
I think I got Cesaro. I think they may save. Actually, you know what? I don't even know who's going to challenge for that SmackDown title. I mean, I think Cesaro would be a great choice. I mean, KO, would make sense to go to WrestleMania. So somehow maybe he gets screwed during the match. I mean, KO can't take another loss here.
Yeah.
He can't take another loss here. He's got to. Something's got to happen where maybe Cesaro advances, faces Roman Reigns, loses. All the while, maybe KO gets somehow taken out of the match, knocked out, or whatever the case may be, and he can't go. And then you have him come out on, SmackDown, and have him. Challenge or get a number one opportunity, that number one contender opportunity that he got screwed out of. I think that's what you do with KO to get him to WrestleMania. Zane, Corbin, I don't see them doing heel versus heel. That's not happening. Corbin doesn't win. I don't think they revisit Uso versus Roman Reigns anytime soon. I would probably have to say that this match is either for Daniel Bryan or Cesaro to win.
No, I totally agree, and I think whoever doesn't win between those two might get a match at Fastlane.
Yeah,
I think that's a good.
and KO can't take a loss here. He can't take another loss here. I think something happens with him. I'm not too sure. That's my prediction. No, I think something happens with him, and then he's gonna want another match and possibly Mania. But we'll have to see what happens there. So that Elimination Chamber is gradually filling up. That pretty much covers everything WWE. Not too much happened with AEW this week.
No,
Wasn't really impressed, but the one thing I want to hit on before we come in for landing is the fact that Sammy Guevara quit the Inner Circle.
yeah, that's a big move. I honestly hope that this leads to a good singles run for him. I've always liked Sammy Guevara, Spanish God.
Yeah, Sammy is great. I think he works very well within the circle. I'm not too sure why they're doing this split here, but and honestly, I would have not even added the dynamic of Miz. I'm sorry, I did it again.
You always get them
I
confused.
caught myself this time. I would have not added the dynamic of MJF and Wardlow into Inner Circle because that I think kind of disrupted the chemistry that Inner Circle already had, and then we're kind of seeing it like on TV, and and I don't know, it's just not the same.
Yeah,
It's not the same chemistry that I'm noticing, but yeah, so Sammy Guevara quitting the Inner Circle is a little bit disappointing to me because I think he just did such great work with Jericho.
yeah. No, I love Sammy Guevara. Like I said, I hope it gives him a solid singles run because he could be a guy that you see winning, the TNT title in somewhere down the line.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That very well could happen. I mean, it's Sammy Guevara versus what's his name?
Darby.
Darby.
Yeah, I don't think Darby holds
Sign
it
me
past.
up.
Yeah, I don't know if Darby holds it for the next few months. I think Ricky Starks is going to be the one who takes it off of him, which I think would also be a fantastic move. But yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, probably before the summer.
After Revolution, because obviously we were having the street fight. But no, I'd love to see Ricky and Darby and Ricky. Either Darby and Sammy, Ricky and Sammy. Put them all three in a triple threat match. I don't care. I mean, I think that'd be a real. AEW is a fantastic mid card. It's almost.
Yeah.
They're riches, rich in talent there.
So Sammy Guevara is going off for a while. He needs time to refocus. So maybe he'll come back as a face. Who knows what he is going to be doing over the next. I would expect him to reappear probably Revolution. No, somehow, some way we'll have to see.
Cost MJF and Jericho.
MJF, yeah, a match for sure, absolutely.
Well, because they have a tag match. They have a title match, a tag team title match, because they won the Royal Rumble, the Battle Royal. I want to say 2 weeks ago. So
they
I
number one contenders.
I could see them getting cost, being cost the match by Sammy Guevara.
Anything else newsworthy of AEW?
Not really.
That was the big thing there. Sting. We saw Darby Allin being dragged the other night and by FTW, and Sting coming out to the save. So we got Sting's gonna have his first match back. With Darby Allin, the street fight against FTW in just a couple weeks. Thunder Rosa defeating Hirsch as the first, what I believe to be the first women's tournament match for the number one contender for Hikaru Shida. They announced that this Monday at 7:00, which is an interesting move by AEW. That on YouTube they're gonna have a bunch of matches from that tournament, mostly from the Japanese side.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so they'll settle out that side, help settle out that side of the bracket. That'd be Monday, 7 p.m. on YouTube on AEW's YouTube channel. So that should be interesting. I think they're
Perfect
kind
timing.
of doing that to maybe get people away from watching Raw. Who knows?
I mean, I would.
I got either Thunder Rosa or Britt Baker coming out as the number one contender. I don't see Serena Deeb winning in that tournament. Serena Deeb and Riho, I think, is next week,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be interesting, but I feel like this is where they're going to try to maybe get Britt Baker to get that match.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good move.
Yeah, why not? She's been featured the most. She's been doing a lot of work, and she went through months of rehab, and she came back, and she's been having a couple of good matches. So, well, that pretty much covers everything. That is episode 54. That pretty much covers everything. We're gonna upload this to the podcast as soon as possible, so people can hear this before NXT Takeover tomorrow night. Yeah, and then next week we'll have our NXT Takeover post show immediately following Takeover, so we'll be on for like a half hour or so, just talking and about the event. And next week we have Elimination Chamber. So this week we'll coming up, we'll be focusing on Elimination Chamber for episode 55 and the continuous road to WrestleMania. And then a lot of good things coming up. There's so much content. We're coming off the heels of Rumble and Super Bowl and NXT this week, and take Elimination Chamber next week. It's just a lot. It's a lot of good stuff at this time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a very, very good time of year to be a wrestling fan. And Tommy, if you hear anything about WrestleMania tickets, feel free to
pass them along.
Inform me. I've been looking online, and I have not heard anything yet. I want to go to WrestleMania this year, but February 28th is my deadline to put in the work request. If I don't know about tickets by then obviously I got to sit out. So who knows with WWE? They haven't announced any news on there yet. I mean, we saw the Super Bowl have about 20,000 people.
Yeah.
So it'd be very interesting to see where they go from here. Oh, also, it was announced, at least for New York, starting February 23rd, that the arenas like basketball, hockey, baseball will start allowing fans. And I believe I've heard 10%, 25%. So this could very well positively impact wrestling too. I just don't know if these brands are going to travel around from arena to arena, invest all that money traveling and paying
without knowledge
the arena without, having the ability to have all these fans. You got to pay for that. And
without the knowledge of 10%.
Knowing, if you're only allowing 10 to 20% fans, does it financially make sense to travel around just yet?
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But that pretty much wraps up episode 54. Tommy, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, man.
We will be on tomorrow night. Can't wait for NXT Takeover. It's going to be such a great show. But in the meantime, those of you guys that are watching, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tomorrow's post show will only be on YouTube, will not be on the podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify for your listening needs, as we're on all three platforms. You guys have an awesome weekend. We'll be back on tomorrow night to talk NXT TakeOver. Catch you guys later.